Once again, still trying to fight the unbidden. From those of you who watched the previous videos, you'd see that the world and the galaxy map here has changed slightly. A few things have happened since last time I recorded on this. It's been a bit of a war up here, so my Federation has gone to war with the Genogian sovereignty up here, and we've had a little bit of a argy-bargy. In the meantime, while that was happening, the Fallen, which were down here, actually there was in this area here, got taken out by the unbidden, and by the time I got down to protect my protectorate, they had been completely wiped out. So I've been fighting a stepping stone crusade to push the unbidden back slowly but surely. This has taken quite a lot of rebuilding of fleets, although I've tried to not go down below 50-60k in any one battle in trying to push them back and reclaim. The latest reclaim I got was Akmal here, and I've managed to populate this planet and add it to this sector. And so this has given me a way in here, and you see I've now researched hyperlanes as well. I'm trying to get Teneka here strategically as my next point. From here I'll be able to side jump straight in to Jindix here to be able to attack the portal, and you know, once the portal's done, no more unbidden reinforcements can come in, and we're actually then going to have a fighting chance in this galaxy to actually take out the unbidden and get back to a certain level of peace. But added to that, although we've got the Stellarite Devourer here, the Drake has been taken out. I've missed showing you the Drake and what happens there, which is a real shame. But also, these guys up here, the Myran Fanatics, is actually a fallen empire that's awakening. So there's going to be some fun and games up in that quadrant as well going forward. Hopefully with two races, and one particularly big one here, with the Concordat in the way, and they're part of the same federation that I'm in, so all the purple areas is part of the federation that I'm in. The greens are associates to that, friends of that federation. So I'm hoping that with the Concordat in place, that we'll be able to keep this fallen empire at bay for the time being, whilst I sort out the unbidden. All good fun. That's where we are at the moment. The Stellaris date is 2573, so that's nearly 100 years on from the last video, so you can see a hell of a lot has actually happened, and the strategies are on. But what I wanted to talk about today was actually the ship designs. I mean, there is a lot with regards to research that I've done. I mean, 93% research progress. That's really high, and even 45 and 36 are pretty high. As a result, all these technologies have actually been unlocked, and these +5 shield hit points, similar effects with weapon damage, weapon range, fightercraft range, reduced construction times, have all made a huge difference to the latest battle that I've actually had with the unbidden, which hence the reason why I'm now down to 21k fleet. So just having a battle with the unbidden down here, I think it was, is in Torville, hence the reason why there's the special projects there, Toroville. I was trying to take out some placements that was in this system, and struggling to take out all the different enemy placements in all three of these systems here to give me a fighting chance at actually taking over this homeworld. the result of doing that was that the Unbidden turned up with a 101k fleet. I had an 83k fleet, and I won. But the 60 and the 50k fleet that came in behind it, I couldn't beat at the same time, but I pushed it through to the point where the 100k fleet was absolutely decimated, and then I got out. But this is the result: a 20k fleet left. So quite proud that, after all these 100 years of research and development, that the Empire is starting to now get very, very strong with its abilities. And you can see here there's a lot of items that have actually been researched, which is reflected in the amount of energy that we're producing and the amount of minerals that's actually being produced, which is getting to nearly crazy points in energy. But and that's through all the tech trees. There is a lot of interesting stuff that has actually been developed here now. So hell of a lot of stuff, and all these construct times, hull platings. What else we've got here? Oh, explosive weapon damage, military health station health. Well, fortunately, we're not having to defend in our own territory here at the moment, but lots of different research that are putting through, and some of them are quite big in the time that they need to actually be developed. But nearly 40,000 units of research and only 74 months, so they're coming through pretty quickly. Our leaders are all quite old in age as well. There's been 3 or 4 of the leadership lifespans that have been increased. I did have it there, or even more than that. There's 5. Yeah, there's 5 of them. We're doing the 6th one. So, people are living a lot longer, getting up to the max stars, giving us the max bonus rates. And so, it's all coming together. But what I wanted to talk about was the ship designer. So, I've had an idea with regards to what designs will work for taking out the Unbidden and fighting in the galaxy generally. This is down for you guys and girls to actually give me an idea whether I'm on the right path with regards to this or whether I'm wrong. So jumping straight into this. So we've got the side jump drive, we've got the sentient combat computer, we've got impulse thrusters level 4, and we've got ship mounted tachyon sensors at level 4 as well. So I'm keeping this as fairly standard, or absolutely standard, across all the ships, and I'm trying to give myself a split. So as I get like 60 Corvettes, that should be made up fairly evenly of these 4 different types of Corvettes. So starting with the plasmas, so the disruptors. So the disruptors in the Corvette is going to be front of the line fleet, but they're going to give the shields on anything that we're attacking a real hammering. With the shields down, things like the Gauss weapons and lasers are going to be a lot more effective against those ships. Also, the Gauss weapons and energy siphon here. Gauss weapons aren't that accurate, but they do pack a pretty strong punch. Just lasers, so these won't do anything until the shields are down, hence the reason why the Corvette plasmas are actually going to be very important. And then torpedoes. Yeah, we do want a lot of torpedo ships, so if we've got 60 of this lot, we want a good third of those to be the torp ships, with the other 40 being a mix of these, 12, 15 each roughly. I know that doesn't add up properly, but bear with me, it's late at night. Backing this up, destroyers. So once again, I'm trying to mix the technologies up. So we've got lasers is version 2 of the lasers, torpedoes with just marauders and whirlwinds, Kinetic energy. These don't off. These kinetic energy weapons are kinetic artillery. They pack in a hell of a punch. Backed up with the Marauder missiles. Yes, antimatter missiles. Yes, it's only level 3 missiles. I could go for higher. I could go up to the Marauders. The only thing is, I've got a power problem. So we've got this combination of defense and power. I think works particularly well. But if I go for anything higher than these missiles, I go into negative power here. So keeping it 100% on balance, I thought when we're only talking about a destroyer, we can actually live with this level of missile. Seems to be working quite well in the combination. You know, it's not all about in this game about the ability of one ship. It's about the role and the function of all the ships. So you have to make sure that you're covering all the different bases. Having just taken out 100k unbidden fleet with 83k fleet of my own, I think the combinations are starting to work, but that's also with all the bonuses and the power upgrades and the defense upgrades in there as well. You know, going back 100 years, you know, the level of technology would not have been able to do that. Last one is the Storm. This is real close range. I mean, 60 range and some point defense. So the idea is here, this is the thing that's going to help defend the fleet from missiles inbound, and also just give a little bit of a ransack back. Cruisers, keeping with the theme, gunships, Gauss, torpedoes, and the Tiger's Claw. So gunships, level 5 lasers, the autocannon, and the disruptors. So the disruptors at range 60 is going to knock the shields down. At range 50 the lasers are going to kick in, and then at range 40 the autocannon kicks in, you know, just to open that wound up a little bit more. So it's a bit of a layered attack model. Let me know what you think. I think this is a pretty powerful ship, and we'll move on to the next one. The Gauss weapons are quite inaccurate, but when they do hit, they do pack quite a big punch. Will offset and complement the gunships. When you've got a fleet 100 of alien unbidden or any other race coming towards you, I reckon they're going to hit something regardless. Then the torpedo cruisers, Marauders and Devastators, with energy siphons at close range. You know, having this long range, you know, 90 there, 60 there, there's another 70 there. So as you get closer in, more and more torpedo punch is going to be coming at the enemy. And then the Tiger's Claw. So the Tiger's Claw, once again, is going to be packing that range with the torpedo. With regards to the Marauders, it's got the disruptor there to help get the shield damage in there, and then opening those wounds up at range 30 with the lasers. So you're going to be dropping the shields, you've got torpedoes going straight through anything that's shield anyway, and then you're just going to, whatever hole is left in the side of that ship, you're going to open it up with the laser barrage. Pretty strong combination. Battleships. So I've got a few more battleships than I was actually expecting. You know, there's 6 different combinations of battleships, and that's because in this version 1.32, I'm now on a Stellaris, you've got some extra special weapon slots. So we'll come to them in a second. You've got the carrier ships, a BS Battlestar or Battleship, whatever you want to call it. You've got your BS carrier. So this is where I've just changed the modules to just be purely the H's. So so that you can have fighter bays. So fighter bays with close range autocannons and point defence. Same with the middle section, just taken the option with the 2 fighter bays rather than the 1. I want to maximise the fighters I can get out of this. Once again, finishing it off with autocannons and point defence. Range 20, this is real close in action here. Which it should never ever get to. You can't unfortunately put fighter bays on the rear of the ship, which is a real shame, so I just left it with 1 large slot, and that's a torpedo. So we've got range 90, so it's going to sit right at the back of the fleet. It's going to do range 90 with the torpedoes. The fighters are going to launch as soon as a target's been identified, so you've got all these fighters streaming in, you've got the torpedoes going in. Only if this thing gets into trouble and anything gets close in, like fighter defence, torpedoes, or any of those fast moving corvettes, does all the closer range kick in, and those autocannons are going to rip other small corvettes and destroyers to pieces. If we start getting cruisers in close with this, hopefully they're damaged enough that the autocannons can and the torpedoes can finish them off, but also that the fighters will regroup back. It's a bit of a risk. Gunship, so Battlestar, Battleship, Gunship, lasers, torpedoes, disruptors and autocannons. Similar combination. Gauss, once again, the Gauss and autocannons. Have been thinking about moving these across to torpedoes, maybe putting autocannons or lasers on the front and just filling this middle artillery core with autocannons, or maybe even, or this could be rather useful, just literally using the kinetic energy cannons. They could be really useful. I mean, those are doing up to 239 damage, average 15.75. A little bit more damage than this, but more maximum damage. Could be something I could look at doing. Gonna have to watch out on the power there. It's only +5 at the moment. It's something I may need to switch over. And the range. Oh, the range. Yeah, then. The range is quite long on these, like 100 range, compared to 60 there and 85 there. Could well worthwhile doing something. That's loud. Do that. Look, we're down to 55. So we're gonna have to lose probably that one. Right, okay. There we go, and we can probably lose that and put that in. Don't think there's anything more I can do there, actually. No, definitely not. Okay. Leave that there like that. So, just save that. Just swap that over. That will probably work much better. 65 there, 85 there, 100 there. Okay, that could be rather interesting. We'll see what happens with that one. Right, so that was... what was that? Okay, I've lost where I was. Right, carrier, the guns. Right, this one, we've got the old Tachyon Lance on the front here. Tachyon Lance, okay, was, before we went to 1.3 of Stellaris, was an ultimately amazing weapon. Shame you used to be able to put him into any large slot, so you could have three or more of these on a battleship. Now you can only have one. Stellaris developers, you're a mean bunch. But anyway, up to 331 damage. There are other type of particle weapons. These pack the most punch, got a range of 100. That's wow. Backing that up with some close range, some fighters and some medium level torpedoes. Very similar to the Lancer. I've got a very similar combination, but this time I'm using the Giga Cannon. Range 120, does 350 damage. These two battleships alone could bring down an empire, I reckon. And then kinetic energy, which we were just looking at. Once again, 120 range, 100 range, and then the little Gauss cannons back. Might need to change these. I don't think these two are particularly right. I think they might need to go to lasers or something, but never mind. And then we've got the Gauss at the back here, where I've just swapped out these artillery for something I think is slightly better, just on the fly. Yeah, that could be a really ultimate powerful combination. Be nice to see that one in action. And then yeah, construct a ship. It has to be called Bob, doesn't it? All of these have been upgraded with regards to shielding, enhanced defense and hull strength, and then you get into your defense platforms. There's nothing attacking me at the moment. All I've got defense platforms going down for is just to take out any constructor ships or survey ships that I don't want in my space. I haven't seen, even when you get down to the fortress level, I haven't seen one of these, or even a combination of these, be hugely successful with regards to taking out any big fleets at this moment in time. Although I do need to change that from 60 to being something that is, you know, actually going to make the difference, because torpedoes are just going to take them out. So that really does need... Oh no, that can't do that, can it? What one did I want? Where's the kinetic energy weapons? Kinetic artillery, there we go. That really needs to be that. It might even need to be that in all 4 slots, to be quite honest, but I do like trying to mix things up a little bit. But that puts us into a deficit over here, so what we might have to do is just lose that there and put some more shielding in there instead, or swap out the second small, whatever's the best thing, but that's not too bad. Right. And you can upgrade these in situ as well, which is quite cool, but that would be a more effective one, especially as the range there is 100. There we go. So anyway, this is the end of this video. I just wanted to show you where I'm going with ship designs. If you've got any comments, any advice for how I can make this better, that'd be well appreciated. Anyway, in the next video I'm going to be getting on with the battle in the Unbidden, so when I come back there will be, now I can afford now a very, very big fleet, so I'll be up to 80 plus, 90k fleet, maybe even 100, and I'll be trying to actually capture these three systems here, so that I can get this planet and colonize it. So hopefully that will be in the next video. See you all soon. Bye.